Why, hello there, everyone. How is it going? Future feature film director, the Rookie Critic here, and I am going live for the first time in a little while, going solo. Yeah, you've seen me on the Fandom Collective, and I did a couple streams here and there every now and then. But I'm just doing a classic old going live solo one, just trying to get back into some type of groove here with streaming, because there was a long period of time where I really wasn't creating that much content. And that was like basically the last 6 months. I've been trying to work on my skit projects, trying to write those and trying to get those made. And, everybody knows about that. Pretty much I was trying to make the Rookies Legends. Whew. And that kind of took a lot more out of me than I would have liked. And so many things went wrong because of, the C virus and everything, and people not being able to do stuff because their lives are affected by all this stuff so much. So I've had to completely rewrite stuff, which in a way is for the better, because honestly, I wrote 260 pages of the Rookies Legends, and that was way too damn much, honestly. And even if that length, I think that's okay, but the story that I had, I can't look at it now and think that it was good, because it is kind of embarrassing, and I gave a lot of people a lot of things to do in it, and I think it just could have been a little too much. And I'm currently rewriting that whole thing right now. I'm trying to find different ways to implement it, and I'll be giving you guys an update soon in a video talking about what I'm going to do with that Rookies Legends idea going forward, because I am still going to do those. And I also got some stop motion tomato stuff coming back. If you guys remember my Rotten Tomatoes, the stop motion, the slaughtering, and the game of tomatoes and all those old stuff, where I do stop motion with tomatoes and have a little story. That will be returning soon, but I'm not going to announce what that is just yet, because I'm having an artist work on some covers for those types of things, and I'm also trying to still write the story. And I want to pitch it once I actually have the story, so that I can tell you guys more officially what it is. And I'm going to say hello to you guys real quick in the chat. Hello there, the Myriosphere Origins. Hail. Glad to see you over here. We got Mongo's Big Things, one of the best supporters around in this community. This dude's freaking awesome. He's got a stream going on at noon today, I think. So he's got one. He said some monstrous news, so that'll be interesting to see over there. We got Club Star Wars. What's up? He says, hey, how you doing? Doing just fine, man. Doing just fine. Man, there's been so much Star Wars stuff going on still. I don't know how Star Wars still is always on the tip of everybody's topics lately. But, as much as I want to comment on it a lot, I also kind of don't really. So that's why you don't see me cover too much Star Wars specific stuff. However, on the Fandom Collective channel, I think sometimes that'll happen more often, because with the guests that we have on, we'll want to talk about it. So that's more what I'll talk about, that kind of stuff. But anyway, this kind of stream's just updating you on things and saying thank you for sticking through this, because, for my channel grew quite a bit in a short amount of time. Like, I went from when I got the huge boost from 900 to 1200, and then I got up to around 1500. I'm almost at 1600. There's been lots of periods where I don't post that much content. And I got to admit, looking at my channel also, I post a lot of different stuff. So, if people were to say, well, what's Rookie's channel about? It'd be kind of hard to say, but I mean, I guess people could pull from it that I'm a film-based channel, that I like to cover film-related things, stuff about movies, but that's still not even really specific to what it is that I want to cover. So going forward, I'm going to be trying to make my channel a little bit more defined, so that people actually know what they're getting into when they click on my channel, because I feel like a lot of people that have followed me in the past did it because of Star Wars, and I appreciate that, but I'm not going to post that much Star Wars stuff on this channel. On the Phantom Collective will probably be where any of that kind of stuff will go, except for if it's about some Star Wars items that I actually have, maybe would be what I would do with that. But I'm just not going to cover Star Wars on this channel too often. So I'm really going to be trying to make it more film based. As everybody knows, I want to be a director someday. I'm learning about film as we go. I've got a bunch of classic movies that I have not seen yet that I'm trying to see, which I'm returning to, watching those movies Again, The Matrix is the next classic movie that I'll be watching, and I'll be doing a watch party of that, I think, on Thursday this week. And I'm just trying to gather a panel to do the watch party with me. And then after the watch party, I'm going to put together a review video so that if you don't want to see the entire watch party, which will be like, the length of the movie pretty much, you can see my condensed thoughts on The Matrix, seeing it for the first time afterward. But yeah, so that'll be some things that I'll be working on in the future as we go. And let me see, we got Tommy in the chat. What's up, Tommy? He is seriously, my theory is that Tommy has a bunch of clones, and that's why he's able to be on every single stream, live chat, or anything. That's my theory all the time. Don't care if it's true or not. That's my theory. And then we got the Mirius Sphere. Let me know if I'm saying that wrong, because I'm saying Mirius Sphere, and I don't know if that's right. It says, yeah, I do a bit of all pop culture. You could do that. It covers movies, books, TV, and games and stuff like that. Well, yeah, that's true. That's kind of the gist. It's mostly a pop culture community, and I do want to cover some of that stuff, but for the most part, I do want to be covering film specific stuff, and not just movies, but the conversation about different aspects with film, with streaming, with physical media, like that kind of stuff, learning about the filmmaking process. And because I'm so brand new to movies in a way, as far as classic movies, I've only been a hardcore movie lover for the last couple years, just a couple of years. So I'm still catching up on a whole bunch of movies that most people that are super into film have already seen. And I'm also trying to learn how to apply film myself. The only reason I started my channel was because I was always writing all the time. I wrote a lot of stuff, but it never went anywhere. So I eventually picked up a camera and started recording some stuff and created characters so that I can start doing things. So that's what I'm trying to work on now. And there's some videos that I made lately that I do like, that are more film based. I call those videos film topics. One where I talked about how training is important in film, or damsels in distress, aren't just, regular tropes. They can serve purposes to a story. I like doing those kind of videos, and I keep on trying to do other types of videos, and doesn't always work out all the time. And I like covering some comic books because I'm brand new to comics as well. I'm even more brand new to comic books because I didn't even think that comic books were even made in the modern day, because I thought that they stopped making comics 20 years ago, and any that were around were just leftovers that people pass around or something. But now there's a whole thing with that. People in Comicsgate are making their own original characters. That I think that's part of the appeal too, that I like about it, because I've seen Batman, Superman stuff in my face for years, but never really got into it too much. So I like seeing some original characters lately. Let me get back to the chat to you guys. He says, red or blue pill, LOL. Well, we'll find out when I see The Matrix. I'll be watching that, I think, on Thursday morning, and then I'll do the watch party right after, so you guys can get my fresh reaction and take on The Matrix when I see that. What's up over easy mode? I was going to respond to your comment after I'm done recording some stuff today, and that's the thing too. Today, man, I had one hell of a weekend. I worked a double shift yesterday at my store, and because some of my employees, I love my employees lately, especially the noobs are actually pretty cool, but man, they leave the back door open to, either just get some fresh air. But when they leave the door open and you have a store that's running air conditioning, it kind of messes with the air conditioning. So it's not really working that well. And it was 90 degrees yesterday, and we got to wear the face masks too. And it's after every customer, I'm just wiping my face because I'm sweat ball in the store making sandwiches and stinky and nasty. I still have to do another shift tonight, but hopefully I'll get one covered later. Ever since the C virus hit, a lot of people have been struck with their jobs and not been able to do very well. I've been working more than ever since the C virus hit. I'm like, hey, can I work less hours, please? No, we need you for more stuff. I'm just shit. So, the one time I don't want to work as often, I'm working more than ever. But, that's just my luck, I suppose. That's just my luck, I suppose. Hello, Right Kitty. What's up? She says, hello, rookie. I request a cookie. All right. You broke me, right? I'll get you a cookie. Don't you worry. I'll get you one. What flavor cookie? Which one? A lot of people, that's different. Chocolate chips usually the go-to, but some people prefer others, believe it or not. 'Tis crazy. And yeah, what's up? Everybody's welcome each other. Club Star Wars says new Star Wars is hard to be positive about. We tend to concentrate on OG and prequel stuff with interviews. Yeah, that's true. Prequel stuff and all those. Yeah, and that's content that I think people want to look for these days, because having new stuff is not very fun to talk about for everybody. So yeah, looking at the old stuff's fun. I still, you know what, because I have one of the original copies of the Return of the Jedi that somebody sent me, and I think Chris Knight has some of these, and I'm gonna see if I can get if I could see a copy of the original and the original Empire and stuff, like the non-edited versions, like the non-special editions. I'd see those, and I'd probably comment about those on a video or something, because I have only seen the golden edition, the golden special editions of Star Wars of the original trilogy. Now, I know it's one of the special editions because Han doesn't shoot first in the ones I saw, and there's some edits in there. There's Cloud City does have windows, which I heard in the original there wasn't. So I've seen a special version. And it was the one where Luke is falling after he gets his hand cut off, and it has the Emperor scream added over it. And even when I was a kid and I didn't know about different edits of Star Wars, I was so confused on why he had that scream. I was like, that doesn't really fit. But I don't know why I just went off on that right there. And then Right Kitty says, hey, Mongo and Myra Sphere. I keep on wanting to say Mario Sphere for some reason, but that's all right. And then Right Kitty says, when you've got a channel, feel free to experiment. Oh, yeah, true. But I mean, I've had my channel for 2 years now, right? I've had it for almost 2 years. And it's I think I've done enough experimenting. And when in the very beginning, if you guys look at some of my very first videos, I was pretty much trying to be similar to Channel Awesome as far as doing skits, like the Nostalgia Critic. They would do characters and they'd make a whole skit around a review. That was how I started my channel, and I created different Jeff characters, Jeffy, Jeffro, the Jeffster, Jeffrey, the different personalities of Jeff, and I could interact with them. And it did roundtable reviews with my characters back in the day. And I mean, that's, in a way, I think people would like those, but I don't know either. That takes a lot more work to put my review into other characters and conversation, and record each person's lines that way instead of just reading it and recording. But I mean, that's a good way to avoid some of the copyright stuff. That's for sure, because I would have it on us a lot and maybe throw up an image instead of just showing clips the whole time. But yeah, so I think I've had long enough to experiment on the kind of stuff that I want to do, but that's the problem. I want to cover a lot of stuff, but I don't really want to call my channel a pop culture specific one, because that's so vague, and it is more of a film-based channel, but I seem to cover a lot of different stuff. And I'm trying to, I think if I do different types of videos every now and then, that's okay. But I don't do enough of a type to have it be what I cover. So that's why I need to do some more movie content. I need to do more film related videos. So, and then when I put up a comic review or talk about something else, then it's oh, okay, that's one of your every now and then ones. But your main stuff is the film stuff that people come to your channel for. I feel like that's how people stay on certain channels longer, is because they're want to watch their videos repeatedly, because they know what type of content they're going to get on the channel, rather than, okay, so today they talked about blank, tomorrow they're going to talk about something way different. I mean, that's just how I feel, I guess, with that, or with how I watch some channels sometimes. Tommy says most of the new mainstream comics aren't worth a damn, and that's for sure. Yeah, but I'm talking about back when I was a kid. Usually, a lot of people talk about getting into comics when they were a kid. I never did. I just never did. I've seen people with comics or friends with comics, and I was just meh, no. And I mean, not to say I wasn't a reader when I was a kid. I did read some books, but I think I was reading more the Magic Tree House and just some of these other books of that nature, I guess. I don't really remember all the types of books that I read when I was a kid. There's a bunch of different series that I read. I'll have to look in those. I do have a lot of books in my attic from when I was a kid. And, maybe one of these days when I'm going through the attic stuff again, I'll take a look at all those and post them online or do a video looking at all these older books. Because some of those books are really old, like really old, like, that my mom's mom had or something, grandma, of course. But I mean, like their grandma too, maybe. Like some of those books are ancient. So, and I do remember being read some of those as a kid or reading them as a kid myself too. But then again, they're all mixed from ones all the way up to like 2005 and, could go back to the 1960s for all I know. So I'll have to look into those one of these days. And Mongo says an extra moist foot long. Yeah, the moistest type of sandwich you could get is probably a meatball or a cold cut combo. A cold cut, for some reason, has a lot of moisture on it. And I don't know why the cold cut specifically has moisture, but oh man, that reminds me of the worst sandwich that I made before. I think I mentioned this one other time, but a customer wanted meatballs and tuna on the same sandwich. Just meatballs and just tuna. And not even anything else. Meatballs and tuna. They wanted to mix their fish with their cow, their marinara with their mayonnaise. Now it's nasty. Quite nasty. You just don't do that. You just don't normally do that. Nope. And we got Dole Life. Dole Life, what's up? How's it going? Hope you're doing well, my friend. Right, Kitty says M&Ms. Yeah, M&Ms are delicious. That's for sure. I was talking about M&M cookies. Oh, we don't have the M&M cookies. I'm sorry. We got oatmeal, chocolate chip, macadamia, raspberry, and carrot cake. Apparently, carrot cake is a cookie, and we sell that at Subway. And I was not aware that carrot cake could possibly be a cookie, but I guess it is right here. And the Sphere says, yeah, I started writing my own novel series and started my channel to help create a place for people to make new things for the fandom, since all our franchise seems to be taken down once down that we have to create. Yeah, I agree. That kind of thing happens, and that's good that you're making your channel. It's like that. Honestly, that's pretty cool. And yeah, that actually is kind of similar to a video that I'm going to be recording today, actually. There's a video before I started to work on my Rookies Legends project back in January or December, pretty much was when I started writing back then. I had at least 4 videos already recorded that I was going to try to put out while I was working on the Rookies Legends, but I never got around to it. I recorded them and they just needed to be edited with footage and everything, but I never touched them. And then I looked back on them recently and I was just going to start editing them and post it, but I'm glad that I looked over it again because it was about 4 minutes long of recording and probably would have been pushed to 6 minutes or so after adding in footage and stuff. But I wanted to add so much more to it because so much has happened since then and so much more has been on my mind since then. So I've pretty much doubled the length. It should be around 8 to 10 minutes of a video now when I record it, and just added more stuff. So I'm excited to record that one. I didn't think I'd have that much to say about it and started putting more passionate stuff in there. And I'm not going to tease you guys exactly on what it'll be called yet, but it does have to do with franchises, definitely. And TC the Mandalorian's here. What's up? He says, I had the Origins Empire on VHS. Nice. Yeah, the special editions I had were also on VHS. It was the Golden Series editions of the Star Wars. I don't know what to call these half the time, because when I say the original trilogy, of course it's the original trilogy, but there's the original copies of the original trilogy that are unedited, and then there's however many versions of this, edited editions, and that gets kind of crazy. And, I'm actually okay with George making some changes to some of the stuff in Star Wars, but the only way that I would find that acceptable is if he still allows the selling of other versions of Star Wars, because whenever he makes his edited versions, he kicks out the other versions and now you got to buy the newer one. And that's not what I agree with, because you should have the option to pick which version of Star Wars that you want to see. But he, taking that away and always putting the new one in front and going, that's the one you're going to have to look at. It's that's kind of fucked up. I do not agree with that at all. Not at all. Even if you're the creator of it, that's just not right. Not right. Let's see. Over email, it says, do you want the original Star Wars? I can send you through Google Drive. Yeah, if you want to, sure. I have the Return of the Jedi one, so you don't need to send that one. But yeah, that'd be kind of cool. I didn't know about digital copies with the original ones. That kind of confuses me. How do you get like the original copies of something from the 70s onto a digital? I mean, I guess if you're able to copy it anyway. Okay, never mind. Never mind. Just thought about it for a second. Yeah, it makes sense. It makes enough sense. Right, Kitty says, yeah, I'm making my own comic too. Speaking of which, I should do more videos on after my Ruby rewrite is done. Yeah, I agree, Riot. Definitely go ahead with that. Your art has been improving a lot in the last few months. I remember when you were first starting. I remember when you had 15 subscribers, and you've come a long way. You made a lot of progress. Your drawings have improved quite a bit. Your cover that you made for me before, that was for the Rookies Legends. I don't know if that will be like an official cover that I'll use on one of the videos that I'm going to do for the skit project going forward, but I will make a video once the last cover is made, which is, there's only one left, and that one's almost done. I think it just needs to have color added to it. Once that's done, I'll show your art and everyone else that did covers in the video, even if they're not going to be the main title covers for the actual videos themselves. I'm still going to show you guys' stuff because it was awesome. Loved it. And Raikity says, it's whatever. I did a few skits as well in the very beginning of my channel, and I'll probably be pulling back on some reviewing stuff because I want to be mainly writing art and design on my channel. Yeah, I'd say do what you feel like doing on your channel for the most part, especially. And you've got a lot of talent there, Riot. I know you love to draw and do the art stuff. I'd say go forward with that full-fledged because you're in a way, you're in a similar position to me. You're like learning as you go. You're honing your skill more as you go, and you can get other people's opinions on your art as you go, so that way you can improve more as you go, pretty much. And I mean, that's how I'm feeling like when I'm trying to do my stuff these days too. So you're in a great position for that. Go forward with it. Camberbeat says Harry Potter. I don't know what that's commenting on exactly. He's just saying Harry Potter, so Harry Potter to you as well. All right. Mongo says meatballs and tuna. That is a crime against nature. Thank you. I agree. Though some people would say that because the lady was pregnant, that's an excuse. I don't know about that because I don't see how your tongue can go, you know what I need is meatballs and tuna on a wheat bread sandwich. That sound great on wheat bread? No, I don't think so. Nope. She says, then macadamia nut. Well, yeah, I could do that. And he says, you should review Horror Potter or Lord of the Rings. Yeah, Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings. Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea. It has been a while since I watched Harry Potter, but I recently just bought the Lord of the Rings extended editions on Amazon because I've seen the theatrical my whole life, and so like I've liked those ones, and of course I loved Lord of the Rings for it. But everybody always talks about the extended versions, and I just kind of thought there'd be a few extra scenes of a few things going on here and there. But I'm glad that I got the extended versions because wow, that does make the movies a lot better than what they were. Like they were already good as the theatrical version, but they're like way better with the extended version. So I might comment on those one of these days because yeah, they had my full attention the whole way through. It wasn't that boring. And so some of the stuff with the Hobbits can get a little less entertaining, but it's still good to see like the way that they develop as characters and they're going on their journey. So yeah, that might be a good idea. I might do that one of these days because there's a lot in there that I freaking loved big time. And honestly, Lord of the Rings is my example of like the perfect mix of CGI and practical effects because a lot of people say, oh, don't use CGI, but there's a lot of CGI in Lord of the Rings, but they blend it so well with the environment and with the things they're interacting with that it comes off as real enough. The Balrog, freaking badass. The trolls even look pretty good. You know, the Nazgul don't look like they're just some CGI dragon floating around. They did freaking excellent. So that stuff's awesome. Sean Solo says, hey, what's up? Hey, what up, Sean Solo? Hope you're doing good. And Origin says, I've been doing a review between Lord of the Ring books and movies and the differences. I need to get back to that. So much fun. Yeah, I bet. I heard, I didn't know that there was like a whole part after they destroyed the ring called the Scouring with the Shire or something like with the Hobbits. And of course they had to do different type of version for the movie, which I think makes sense, compared to the book. But I still kind of liked that idea at the end of the Return of the King in the book. I assume it's Return of the King or Two Towers. I forget how they did the books compared to the movies. I actually never read the books. When I was a kid, I think we had to read The Hobbit, but I don't remember reading The Hobbit that much. I just remember the Gollum interaction because I think we did kind of a play version of that for a second. Not a full play, but in the classroom for some reason she was like, "Hey, you guys want to act out a scene?" And I was doing Gollum as talking to Bilbo, and that was pretty fun. That was pretty funny back in the day. Then we got Over Easy Mode says the extended editions of Lord of the Rings makes more sense. They cut out so much essential scenes that should have been there in the theatrical cut. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Oh, in the theatrical cut, a lot of stuff kind of confused me. Like Eowyn, I think, is the blonde daughter of the Theoden King, I think. And in the Return of the King, when she ends up trying to fight and brings Merry along with her, I was like, why does she want to fight? How can she be this skilled all of a sudden? Because they never showed her do anything with the sword other than comment that women defend themselves sometimes, and that was pretty much it. And then in Return of the King, she's able to fight, and they never set anything up with that. But in the extended editions, they show her wanting to be more of a warrior the whole time and wanting to fight for it and everything. So it made a lot more sense in the extended editions, how she is the way she is, and that just made a lot more sense. And even with Merry, there was a point where, he's there's a body on top of him. And I'm like, how does that happen? And apparently he gets some kills on some orcs. I didn't know he got any kills, so that was interesting to see. The Black Gate. I seen that part in the Return of the King game on Xbox 360 or the original Xbox. I don't remember which one it was. I remember playing it on the 360. And yeah, they showed the mouth of Sauron threw the vest at him, but I was like, okay, that's kind of weird. I didn't really get what he was, but makes a lot more sense now. I didn't notice in the theatrical that Gandalf loses his staff at some point. I just kind of thought that he thought it was kind of pointless to hold two weapons at the same time. Just like, I can't just cast fireballs at everyone. I just need to cut them off with the sword, I guess. So I didn't really know. I didn't really understand that. But then you see I was going to say the Night King, but I think it's the Witch King. Is that the Ringwraith's name that has the fire? That's the one thing I have a question, though, because he, in the extended version, he uses his sword and it lights on fire, and then it just destroys Gandalf's staff. But when he's fighting Eowyn later, he has this huge mallet thing, or this huge, I don't know what weapon you call that, that he swung around before and with her and couldn't use the magic. I don't know. It just kind of seemed weird. It didn't seem like the Ringwraiths had spell abilities of any kind. They were just cursed men and were somewhat immortal. I actually don't really understand what their actual ability is, but I don't know. Maybe I have to watch it again to catch it. I could have missed some detail that I didn't really notice the first time watching the extended editions. I've only seen the extended editions once, so I could have missed some other detail that I'm not remembering right now. Origin says, yeah, the books were great. I got the audio version and been comparing them to the extended version of the movies, and so great. Yeah, I bet. How long are the Lord of the Rings books? How much was the first Lord of the Rings and the second one? Because it sounds like, I don't know, I'm imagining a gigantic thick book, but then again, I don't remember them being that big either, so I don't know. But I did read Harry Potter and I did see the movies, so I could see how they can miss a lot of content too, so you never know. Over Easy says the Witch King. Okay, yeah, I thought so. For some reason, for a while, I was saying the Night King. The Night King does this, and the Night King does that, and I hardly watched Game of Thrones. I don't know why that came into my head anyway. He says, yeah, the Witch King has an ancient sorcerer. Okay, I didn't get that he was a sorcerer, because based on what it was, they were given the rings by Sauron. The men were in the past, and they got corrupted, and that's why they turned into the the night people, the Witch Kings now, and the Ringwraiths. And I was like, I don't really get what their abilities are now. They're just corrupted men, and now they have superpowers. I didn't really get what it was with that, but and what happened, it actually confuses me. So when seeing the theatrical cut, or just seeing the movies the first time, or back growing up anyway, I didn't really understand where the rings came from, But then on a viewing now, it's kind of made clear that Sauron made the rings, or he had the rings made for him and like put his essence into the one ring. And that's why it, corrupts so many people and tries to be drawn back to him. And that's why he survived. Like that all made more sense to me now seeing that. But, and the corruption of the ring wraiths and all. But the other rings that were given to the elves and the dwarves, I don't get what happened with those, or if those had any significant abilities. Did any other rings have an actual ability, or were they meant to also corrupt? That's just one thing I never really caught, I suppose, in Lord of the Rings, but I don't know. But anyway, Lord of the Rings, I feel like I'll save for a different topic one of these other days. I've been going for almost a half an hour already. It's longer than I intended on going, actually, but I'll still talk a little bit more about a few other things that I was going to mention. The Fandom Collective, you can find me over there as well with Flipped Out, and we've got our growing team working with us a lot. We got Fanscene, Fallon, Etepakum, The Place to Be Reviews, Daniela, Penny Jet. We got a big base over there that's growing. We started a Patreon over there, and we've got 8 patrons already, and that's really helping to get us doing more stuff for you guys. And we've had so much stuff planned for the longest time, and we're finally just about able to implement on some of them. We're hoping to kick off a few other things toward the end of August, or at least, before the end of August, we'll have a few other things in the works, and that'll be some cool fun. And as for content for me going forward, like I said, I'm going to record some videos right after this. They're going to be they're going to be mostly film based, and I'm going to be doing reviews on rare movies that people have not yet seen before. I've already reviewed a couple that, were very rare, and I'm so glad the reception on those videos has been very positive. And, they have more views than my videos or reviews on popular current movies. Like on the current movies that I've covered, they get some views, but not that many really. But the ones I did the rare reviews for that people haven't heard of has gotten a lot more views. So that I do appreciate. Blood Angels, Alien Planet, Deep in the Valley, Tampopo, which that one actually has the least views of the newer ones, and of the rare ones. And I still recommend people watch Tampopo. Very weird. Very weird movie, but very funny as it is. A whole movie about noodles, my friends. But so there's those, and I plan on doing a lot more of those. I have at least another 20 rare films that I want to review, so look forward to those coming soon. And like I said, I'll be looking at some classic ones soon as we go. Matrix is next, and then The Thing. I'll be covering The Thing on Snowdub Music and Entertainment's channel, because that's where we're going to watch it. He's putting together a whole The Thing panel, and apparently there's like an original The Thing in black and white, and then there's the next one that most people know of with Kurt Russell, and then there's the one after it, but I don't know the actual dates that any of them came out. So the middle thing, I don't know what exactly it would be called right there. And Over Easy Mode says it's called the flail weapon on the chain. Okay, the flail, right? That makes sense. We got the Superior Hero Reviews says, what's up, everyone? What's up, Superior Hero Reviews? How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. I'm just about to close the stream in just a couple minutes. I've just been talking about a little update on what I'm doing with my channel and what I've been doing lately, and then started talking about Lord of the Rings for a little while. But talking about how I'll be back to making content again soon. I'll be putting a lot of videos out. Like I said, after I'm done with this recording right here, I'm going to start recording at least a couple more videos, and I don't know how long they'll take me to edit, but expect some videos from me within the next week or two. I'm doing a watch party on The Matrix on Thursday. I'm trying to get Tom from Midnight's Edge on that. I'm still trying to finalize, make sure that we are set, but I think we'll be good. I've got a live stream with Mary tomorrow. I'm bringing back the old Rookie Corner podcast. When I first started my channel back in the day, started the Rookie Corner podcast where I bring on new guests and try to get to know them. But now I'm doing kind of a throwback and bringing it back, having on some of those first guests that I had on way back then and when I first went on here. So she'll be the first one coming back to that. He says, right on, I'll watch the rewind. Yep, appreciate that. Superhero Reviews, appreciate that. And I think that about wraps up what I kind of wanted to talk about and chill with you guys. Sometimes I feel like, like honestly, I could talk about more stuff, but I want to save it. I want to save it for when I'm on other live streams, because I'm doing another one this Wednesday on the Phantom Collective, and I'm doing one tomorrow with Mary, and then doing a watch party on Thursday. So it's like, and I don't know if I'm doing another one on the weekend. I might be bringing back even the Power Ranger content, so we'll see. But that's just going to wrap it up for now. It's been 34 minutes. So you guys have a good one and have a great rest of your diggity day. And I'm just going to talk